Cindy, and I am up in Cataloochie. They did open part of Cataloochie back up. You can now only park at the school, and you have to walk down. Now, I drove around to the other side before I come here, and the other side looks pretty normal. You can still get to the Palmer House. The Palmer House looks okay, but down here is where it starts getting messy. It did wash out a lot of the road. They are trying to refix this so everybody can get back down in here, and you can see that they're pulling out gravel and they're resituating everything to the best of their ability. And like I said, you can only park at the school and walk in. So what I'm going to try to do today is I can't get to, even if I could get to the Woody house, I can't because all the wooden bridges that were there have been washed out. They have not rebuilt these, but you can see through here how all through there that's gravel that washed out of the road and down from, you know, everywhere up through here. Technically you could get a car through here, but you know, it would be a bit bumpy. I've waited for quite a while for this place to open back up. From checking out the National Forest page and just other updates through the internet, it really wasn't providing a lot of updates concerning this. Word of mouth was saying this place would not reopen until next year. Well, part of it has reopened, which is awesome. You just have to put a little work into it just to walk down through here. Smells kind of weird through here, but who knows what works down through here. All through there, that was lush greenness. It is a bit wet through here, which this water's moving, which means it's part of the creek, or at least it thinks it is. Is that a bridge? Looks like a little footbridge still up there. This might be a little unsteady today video-wise. I did not realize I did not have my gimbal until I was halfway here. And it was too late to turn around to go pick that up. So, here we are. There's part of the bridge. It's just sitting there. It's really hard to say where that washed down from. But my goal today is to make it at least to the Caldwell house and the barn. The barn, from my understanding and seeing other pictures, was pretty damaged from the floodwaters, and they are having to restructure it back together. It's still standing, but a lot of damage. Now, I'm not sure about the school and the church. It's still standing. If it did receive damage, it probably was around the foundation. Now this through here doesn't look too bad. That part looks pretty rough. This part right here still looks drivable. Anyway, let me walk on up through here, check things out. I'll be right back. Now I walked a little ways up here and I'm coming across the next bridge. And you can see where the water pushed tons of debris up around this bridge. And coming across the mountain through here, I really didn't see much, it didn't show much damage of where a lot of trees had come down. So it looks like this area here was the worst hit concerning it. I'm not seeing any elk in these particular fields up here today. I seen two males as I was crossing the mountain coming into here, but I haven't seen any yet, particularly in here. During the earlier morning time, which I am here at that point in time, they usually like to hang out at the end, which I probably will not be able to reach that. But I'll try. But they usually try to hang out at the end, and then later in the afternoon they will work their way down towards the other end. Now, since the storm, their patterns may have changed, but when I was coming up here off and on, I kind of picked up on their patterns on where they would be during certain times of the day, and that's how it was then. And it's crazy, in certain parts up through here it looks like nothing has been touched, and just by what I'm seeing right now, certain parts of this place they won't have to do a lot of work on to get it drivable again. But I think the main damage actually is closer towards the barn and the Caldwell house. And I do know it washed out all the bridges that takes you up to the Woody house. And I must say it's much different walking this in, because I have always drove this in. I never thought I would have to walk this in. Well, let me get up around this corner. Trying to see how much further I am from the barn. Can't tell. Oh, up there's the barn. So I'm almost there. So let me get a little bit closer, and I'll be right back on. Barn. This is why. Now, this now looks like part of the creek. This up through here was your main road. You can see little drainage pipes washed out. So I'm trying to pick my best way around through here, which will be this way. These little rocks right here, all this is in the creek. But they look like what they've done is that they've pushed it through here, and maybe they're going to continue to push it over through there. I don't know. But I'm just trying to find the best way through here. There, you can see this water moving. It now thinks it's part of the creek, which the creek was not over here. The creek was over there. And I am now walking this way. So many little bugs out here today. It's not really too hot today. It's in the, I would say it's in the low 60s right now. But yeah, this is the road. I guess they got to figure out what they're going to do with that. This was the road in. It looks like they've been driving up through here. I guess you ain't really had much of a choice. Down there's the barn, and on the other side is the Caldwell house. Somebody's had, look at those little boot prints. And little dog prints. By the way, guys, you're not supposed to have dogs out here. Cataloochie area. at least on this side, is not dog friendly. Most of the Great Smoky Mountain National Park is not. There is certain places you can have your dog, but you need to read the websites concerning that. Now, walking out through here, I'm not seeing a soul. I did see a man going back to his truck when I had pulled in, but nothing. Like more little doggy prints. I am going to try to walk closer to what used to be the road. You can see how much of the bank is washed out, and like I said, it just looks like a creek. But this is the road. So I'm going to try to stay as close as I can to it. This is just crazy. I found this place a couple years ago by accident. I was kind of researching on the internet. You can see all the gravel that's washed up through the field. That's not normal. This was all field, which tells you the water was all the way back up through there. All this right here, that was the road. Or that's come from the road. But anyway, back to my story. I found this place by accident. I had been to Cades Cove. Kind of made me real excited to see that. So I started researching to see if I could find more places that was similar to Cades Cove. And I'd been searching for a while. And I believe that I found a Facebook feed concerning one of the houses down here. I think it was the Caldwell house. I'm actually walking in the ditched out road now. And I googled it, found it, come down here. I seen the main part. I didn't know that there was a side part to this. Later on, I didn't find it. And look how high the road got washed out. It comes about up to my stomach. Is how deep certain parts of this where it washed out at is. But anyway, I found this place. I come down here and I checked it out. Later went down the side road, which takes you to the Palmer house, and realized there was more to this. I checked out and found the Hannah cabin, the SD Cook cabin, the Cataloochie Baptist Church, which I've made videos of all that. And this place I was super excited about because I've now seen every structure here, made a video of every structure here, and this place is really special. And I have found the people that have dogs. So I'm going to try to keep them out of the video just for their own behalf, because they really ain't supposed to have them here. Anyway, this is still the road in. Still the road in, guys. Some of this is just really not drivable. So as you can see, that's just what it looks like up through there. I'm trying to keep him off of video. Don't want to get him in trouble. I guess he's just trying to have a good time with these little puppies. But let me go ahead and jump off here, and once I get around to the barn and the house, I'll jump off. The bridge is still there for it. It's missing a few boards here and there, but it's still crossable. Those dogs that they're not supposed to have up here started barking at me. Thought we'd just gander in here for a while. Something's nest up there. I smell something weird, like bats again, maybe. Yeah. I'm watching out for bees. They usually do pretty good around here, keeping the bees out. Or if there is a nest they can't control, they mark it and let you know it's there. But as far as I can see, This house wasn't damaged at all. Like I said, the bridge is still there. There's some boards that are missing to the bridge, but it's still crossable. Yeah, the smell's getting worse. There's bats in here. Like I said, they have a particular smell about them. There's no way to confuse that with anything else. You know, I kind of wonder when they was building this house, it never ran across their mind that, hey, you know, 100 some years from now, this is going to turn into a historical landmark, and people's going to come down here and check this place out. I'm sure that did not cross their mind. For the most part, this house is okay. Looks like they might eventually need to start fixing it in certain spots. And they had started that with the Woody house before the flood occurred. Last time I was down here, the wallpaper room. The last time I was down here, they had put trucks and some supplies. That thing's wobbly. At the other side of that gate to begin working on that house, and then the flood occurred. But they will get to it. And that's another thing, guys. When you come down here, get your parking pass. All the money and proceeds from that is put back into keeping these houses restored for everyone to see in years to come. Look at the steps. There was a guy standing out here. He scared me because he came out of the bushes and I didn't see him. And those are those spectacular windows. I don't think these windows was originally in the house when it first was built. I think later on she added these windows. It's a nice touch. Well, let me work my way outside. That guy's gone, thank goodness. That's what it looks like from there. They have it roped off where you're not supposed to be in there. A lot of the sides and stuff got washed in. It's kind of not safe, not stable. Now, when I first seen a picture of it, the sides and stuff on the left side were pushed out. They're pushed back in, but you can see they're trying to work on it. And I would assume the way it looks, the water was probably up to there where all this trampled stuff is, which some of that's also elk doing that. And if the water really got up here, you know, the picnic table and other things, probably pieces of foundation probably would have got washed out, because this was a pretty strong flood. But I am happy to see that they have reopened this, at least to an extent, for you to be able to get up here. This is one of my favorite places. It is never as crowded as Cades Cove. Down here, if you have the time, there is the church. On your main road, there is a church and the school. There's the Caldwell house, which I'm at, the barn. On the other end, eventually when they get that finished, you come to a gravel parking area. It has a gate to it. You'll walk past that gate up in the woods. Once they get the bridges and everything put back in, about a mile, you come to the Woody house. Very pretty place out there. Now, if you take the back road or the side road when you come in, you will come across the Palmer house. It has a big barn that's with it. Keep going out through there once they get the bridges back open. I think it's at least 3 or 4 miles out through there. There's another side to this. There was Big Cataloochie and Little Cataloochie. There's another trail that will lead you to the Cataloochie Baptist Church, the Hannah Cabin, and the Esty Cook Cabin. Now, you can come down here and park beside the school and actually walk that in to get to those cabins as well, but that is the much longer way to go. Once they get the road put back together, and if you go in on the other side, that's a shorter way to get to those other cabins. That's the way that I went in. Now, Google will take you down here by the school and want you to go in that way. You just do a little research and you can find the shorter way in. Well, let's see. I'm going to get down here to this bridge, and it must not have been too raging up through here. This is still here, and I don't know what really anchors this down, but it's still here. Still yet I've seen no elk yet. These are all full of dirt. They're not now. And miraculously, this is still here. See, it did wash down some of the rails to it, and there is a couple boards missing. But other than that, this thing is standing strong. While there's no one here, I'm gonna go over here and take a gander at the barn. And see, right there's the damage where the water just looks like this is where most of the water damage occurred. It's knocked the steps down to get to upstairs. So if you could go in, which you shouldn't go in, you can't get in it. And then they got all this closed off just for your safety. You can tell that it washed all those in. And we'll go over here and we'll peek around through here. It's starting to get kind of saturated over here. For the most part, the structure of the barn's still here. Just loosened it up a little bit. And this right here was nothing but fields. I don't know exactly how far the gravel got washed back through here, but this was fields. All this was not here. Could be another reason I don't see any elk. Well, let me get some pictures of this and I'll be right back. Now, way up here past these trees and that little darker area is the gate that takes you to the Woody house. Now, that is not going to be my adventure today because you have to cross some pretty big creeks, and I don't plan on getting wet today because the bridges up through there are gone. But it was interesting to come down here and see this. It's going to take them a while to get this road put back together. Like I said, I've seen no elk, and I walked pretty far up through here. No elk. But it's pretty today. Very pretty today. Once they get the bridges and everything put back in, I'll come back down here again. I'll always continue to come back down here as long as I can. But if everybody's going to explore, explore safe.